following is an excerpt of a New Jersey City University State and Local Politics Forum coordinated by political science professor Thurman Hart with guest speakers City Councilman Anthony Chiappone, Peter Camerano, and Jersey Journal reporter Steve Morgan.
We have a really good program here. A lot of folks active either in the politics or covering the politics today. I will introduce. We got Anthony Chiappone, NJCU, Jersey City State alum. So he's from here. Hey. Representing Bayonne, Peter Camerano in the middle there from Hoboken City Council. And Earl Morgan here, a distinguished reporter for the Jersey Journal. We're glad to have him on board. We do polls with the Jersey Journal periodically, and a number of you I know have made phone calls for us, and we'll be hitting you up again in like 3 weeks probably. This is actually Professor Hart's program here, so I'm going to turn it over to Professor Hart, and he'll explain what's going on. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Fran. Well, this is an outgrowth of our state and local politics course. One of the things that, one of the challenges I had when I began putting the course together, I was just complaining about it, is that there are no textbooks that cover Jersey politics. I just want to deal solely on corruption, and then there's a ton of books. But there are other things that go on. And even in the midst of corruption, you know, if we want to use Frank Hague as the example, even in the midst of Hague's administration, things did get done. It may have been done by 5 times as many people and at 20 times the cost, but it got done. One of the problems I experienced when I came up here is that I was outraged when I heard of elected officials not doing their jobs, or getting indicted. And my wife, who now lives 7 blocks away from the house she grew up in the Heights, just kept shrugging and say, you're in New Jersey now. And after about 5 or 6 years, I understand what that means, but I don't think we should just shrug it off. One of the things I always want to do with my classes is to tell my students that, as Mr. Morgan was saying just earlier, you get the government you deserve. And if you read the papers and you get upset about what's going on, the way to change it is to get involved. And we had Steve Fulop, who is a city councilman from Jersey City, who was going to show tonight. He ended up having to cancel because of other engagements. So if you have stories about Steve you want to share, he can't defend himself. But Steve and Peter and Tony have all been on the forefront over the last, I would say, at least the 5 or 6 years that I've been up here, and actually trying to make government more responsive to the people they represent, and to try and bring some honesty and integrity to it. Mr. Morgan has been watching Jersey politics for, we don't want to say how long, right? Long time. So we're going to get Tony and Peter to give you some background on how they see things and how their job impacts our lives. And Mr. Morgan is operating at a disadvantage. The other 2 panelists knew they were coming here and had a little bit of time to prepare. He's going to be kind of talking fast and loose, but he's got a pretty good memory, so I think we'll be okay. We picked a couple of issues to get started. What I'll do is invite each of you to come up here and to speak a little bit about that subject, and then at the end we'll open the floor up and take questions on any and all subjects related to state and local politics. The first topic, and this one always comes up when we poll people about what the biggest problem in New Jersey is, always comes up that property tax is a huge problem. And oddly enough, we often look to the state for the solution of property taxes, when really property taxes start at the local level. So I think we'll start at the far end, and if you want to come up and let us know what you think about property tax.
Sure. Is it okay to give a little opening background?
Sure, yeah, please.
And a couple things bring some memories back to me. First, that I attended here at NJCU, and both my sons one is currently attending. The other thing is in regards when I look at the video camera and I see Mr. Camerano from Hoboken, that's how I got my start in politics. I was videotaping an open public meeting in Hoboken and was arrested for doing so. And subsequently...
That was before my time.
Yes. And then started taping public meetings in my town of Bayonne and got involved coming from behind the camera, asking questions of the city council, and that's how I became involved on the city council in Bayonne, and then now to where I am councilman at large for the city of Bayonne and state assemblyman. One of the bills that I had in my last term in the assembly had to do with mandating a forfeiture of one's pension of elected officials who are convicted of corruption. And unfortunately at that time, none of my Hudson County colleagues would support me in that bill, but it was a bill that passed finally last year. So I want to commend the professors, adjunct professor, for Mr. Thurman for inviting me here today. It's always an honor and privilege when I can share some of my thoughts. In regards to property taxes, this is an ongoing debate, both locally and on the state level. You know, locally we try to balance the city budget and not raise property taxes. But what happens is many municipalities, like the city of Bayonne, tends to overspend money. We live beyond our means. My philosophy has always been to streamline government, to make cuts in government, and to cut down on debt, bonded debt, which becomes part of the following year's budget. One of the things that we did last year, I'm very proud of, is to implement a system where employees pay into their health benefits. In the private sector, it's done by every company, and now it's only a matter of time before you see contribution to health benefits applied to state, county, and local officials. We did that on an administrative level, so that now when we negotiate with the unions, we'll be in a position to say, hey, we did it for ourselves in contributing to health benefits, which are a big cost to local government, and now in turn we expect you to contribute as well. We've also implemented a layoff in the city of Bayonne. So we're addressing property taxes, the issue of property taxes on a direct level in that manner by making cuts within our local government. The philosophy of property taxes is something that we're addressing on a statewide level, in that school taxes and the cost of education is entirely on the backs of the property owner. And this is the most direct way of getting these funds, but unfortunately it is unfair to many property owners, because they do face the burden of paying the school taxes entirely. And you can only raise the rent to somebody that you rent to so much. So the whole issue of how do we fairly distribute the cost of education among all the residents of New Jersey, as opposed to just putting it on the back of the property tax owners, that's something that we constantly debate in the State House and really needs to be addressed. On a statewide level, just as we do at a municipal level, and Mr. Camerano will tell you in Hoboken they have their budget problems as well, we need to see cuts in state government. For too long, government has padded the payrolls by putting in patronage jobs, and these are political appointees, and we see it on a state level, we see it on a county level, and we see it on a municipal level. And this is unfortunately a financial reality, is that we put people in jobs on the basis of who they know politically, but not always are they performing a designed task. And I think it's important that when tax dollars are spent, that money goes toward every job that receives tax money should have a purpose. So I think that the time is now past when we can afford to put on political patronage, and we have to make sense of every job that we pay through tax dollars. So that's just some of my thoughts on property taxes and property tax reform. It's an issue that will continue to be one debated on both the local level and the state level, and hopefully I plan to be a part of the solution to this problem that faces many of your parents today. Thank you.